ABC's The Lookout is about to get busy. And how? First up, Undercover House, The Lockout.
Hi there, my name is Lauren. I accidentally just locked myself out of my house.
A woman alone, locked out in the cold. Most would see misery in this scene, but some see a ripe business opportunity.
Thanks for coming.
Like this man, who responded to her call for a locksmith.
Go to the lock?
Yeah, at least that one is, I believe.
But let's see if he does a better job working on her desperation than her deadbolt.
Yeah.
We got to drill that. Both of them.
You have to what work with them?
Drill.
Oh, drill.
But what he doesn't know is that she is an actress. And she is not alone. In fact, just a few feet away, the garage is crawling with producers and cameramen and a licensed locksmith named Ira, who says guys like this give his business a bad name.
He didn't even ask her for identification that she lived there. Number one rule.
There's no way to just like pick it or something like that?
No, not this kind of lock.
Not that kind of lock?
Not that kind of
Is it a difficult?
Yeah.
It's a difficult lock. Okay.
Yeah, see, according to Ira, that's not really true. Because earlier, he installed one of the simplest residential doorknobs on the market.
Get them moving so we can turn it. Now we're in.
That took you literally 3 seconds. A model, he says, is easily pickable by anyone with a little knowledge. Can I try it? And opposable thumbs.
Try not to put too much pressure on the bottom. All right. He's in.
How about that?
That's very good.
Wow, that was cool. Did you get that? It happened so fast. But this guy, Mr. Power Drill, he acts like he's breaking into Fort Knox and starts by attacking the deadbolt, which isn't even locked.
He didn't even attempt to pick the lock. He should have tried to drill the bottom lock first, then check to see if the top was locked. So he's making the job bigger than it is. Amazing. He broke a bed off in the door.
Now, why in the world would he destroy 2 locks with a drill when he could have opened one or both with a pick? Well, when she called,
How much is this going to be?
his company quoted her a price of $50 and up. But in our experiment, it is never the base price. It is always and up.
Yeah, that's gonna be 110 each.
110 each?
Each of them.
Okay, so 220 and then the $15 service fee to come out here?
Exactly.
Okay.
But not exactly, because when all is said and done, the price is actually $365, over 7 times more. So, the next night, we invite him back.
Hey, David. Come on in.
Hey, how are you? How you doing? I'm Bill. You're David, right? Yeah, let me show you something.
Yeah.
A chance to show him his work on hidden camera and ask for an explanation. We're trying to figure out why an experienced locksmith would drill a deadbolt to start a door open. In his defense, he points out that our actress was vague about whether both the knob and deadbolt were locked.
Go to the beginning, I wanna see. Go to the lock?
Yeah. At least that one is, I believe.
Oh, you had that?
I said
Both of them locked? Yeah. Go to the
But even if there was a possibility that they were both locked, why didn't he try to pick before drilling? And why did he start with the deadbolt? Why not start with this one? Drill this one
Because that's the way that I do it. What do you mean? You want to learn me how to walk?
Well, you would have saved her some money. Remember, our expert says he needlessly destroyed both locks. Any kind of competent locksmith would have been able to pick this one lock and open the door in
Can I ask you,
seconds.
where are you from?
ABC News.
ABC News?
ABC News.
So you're going to be in the news?
Yeah, you're going to be on TV.
I love you, mommy.
Mr. Power Drill is just one of the characters we met in our Anatomy of a Lockout. To cast a wide net, we actually set up 2 houses with 2 actresses. Kara will be our damsel in distress in New Jersey, and Lauren will play the role on New York's Long Island. Mike, the chairman of a locksmith industry task force, also joined our team. And to capture the action, we rig both places with cameras. Cameras in the shrubs, cameras in the car, even cameras peeking through the buttonholes of our actresses' shirts.
When you're making the phone call, repeat the numbers that they're quoting you.
After Ira and Mike install those common basic locks, they explain that a locksmith would quote a price of around $100 to come open a door like this.
No more than 100.
No more than $100.
The big difference there is that most regular locksmiths will generally quote you a solid price, pretty close, and they stick within it.
But well-intentioned locksmiths with upfront pricing struggle to compete with companies that flood the web with dubious promises of service for as low as $15. And when our actresses start calling these listings, we are treated to a parade of frustration.
Man, you happen to have like an old library card or something?
Yes, he actually asks for an old library card to shim open the door, then bangs on the lock for 15 minutes using a so-called bump key before reaching for the drill.
That's why I say use lockpicks. Yeah, why?
He only ended up charging her $100, but left her with a broken doorknob. Now, this guy said he was afraid to break his expensive lock pick, so he quickly begins to drill. And this gentleman is the only one who shows enough skill to actually pick the lock. But in each case, before starting the work, they demanded prices that were 2 or 3 or even up to 7 times higher than the starting price their companies provided over the phone. It is a routine familiar to our next insider, a guy we'll call Ben.
And you just have to play with the lock 5 to 10 minutes until the customer is exhausted.
He asked us to disguise him, change his name and voice, because he worked for some of the most notorious locksmith syndicates in America for a short time. And he says that when he learned the tricks of their trade, he quit in disgust. You're frightened of these people.
It's hard for a guy to admit, you know. But yes, I mean, there's scary side of all to this industry.
Ben explains that many of the guys in this game are recent immigrants recruited from Israel, given minimal training in locksmithing, but a thorough lesson in what they call sales. How did they characterize American customers in general?
Well, Americans are stupid. American people are stupid, naive.
To open this door is going to be $150.
Why is it going to be $150?
So she's thinking $45, it's already up to $150. Now, this part is key, no pun intended. Since they demand a higher price before beginning the work, this is not technically a bait and switch. Their defense is that you can always say no, but on a cold, dark night, you are hardly in a position to shop around.
Can you try and pick it? Yeah.
But the lock from today is very security, it's 6 pins lock.
It's not high security, only has 5 pins.
He doesn't even try to pick it, but at least he doesn't drill, and instead uses an airbag device to force the door away from the jam.
Oh, scared me.
Since it took just seconds to get her in, maybe he'll give her a break on that $150. But no.
We got quarters only much lower.
Let's go. How you doing, man?
Hello.
I'm Bill Weir with ABC News. What's your name?
What do you need?
I'm just curious, why you thought it would be a good idea to triple bill this young lady after a certain price was.
Excuse me, guys.
Where you going? Let me ask you something. Are you a licensed locksmith? What's the name of your company? Here's one more red flag. Not only is New Jersey one of 15 states that requires locksmith companies to be licensed, you gonna take advantage of a young lady like that? The name of the company must also be displayed on the vehicle. This doesn't look like a work truck. Are you licensed? He disappears. And when we try to track down his company, things really get interesting.
Stay on the lookout as we search for who really sent these locksmiths our way and why the guy in this movie might know something about that.
You could have picked any role in Mobster, but you chose the villain.
I like that one.
When last we left our locked out damsel in distress, the guy in the hoodie had just used a hand pump airbag to force open her door and then charged her 3 times more than the base price she was quoted over the phone.
I'm just curious, why you thought it would be a good idea to triple bill this young lady after a certain price was...
Excuse me, guys.
What are you doing?
After he bolted into the night, we got him on the phone, and he said that since he opened the door quickly and without damage, his price was fair. And then we tried to track down the company that sent him, an outfit called Papa Locksmith, a name that is suspiciously similar to a well-established nationwide franchise called Pop a Lock. See the difference there? Papa Locksmith, Pop a Lock. But when we tried to contact Papa Locksmith, the address on their website moved from New York to someplace in Oregon. We tried contacting them there, but then the address vanished from the website entirely before reappearing as a forwarding service in Texas.
They're trying to avoid complaints. There's no registration paper for most the ghost companies. What they're trying to do is just gather as many calls as they can, get the money and leave.
And this was the biggest revelation from our anonymous whistleblower. These ghost companies, as Ben calls them, know that in your moment of lockout crisis, you want someone local, fast and trustworthy. So they flood phone books and search engines with companies that seem local.
The best thing is to find your locksmith before you actually need one. Go to a local area that you know this guy does exist and lock his phone number in your phone so when you do need him, you'll be able to get him right away.
But watch what happens when we try to take that advice and go find an actual brick and mortar locksmith shop.
Now, if you go according to the online listings, this one little stretch of South Plainfield, New Jersey is supposedly jam-packed with licensed locksmiths. We plugged a few into the GPS, and let's see exactly what we find.
Arriving at address 2341, on right.
So it turns out that USA Locksmith is actually a Brazilian and Portuguese restaurant, and South Plainfield Locksmith is actually a CVS pharmacy.
To make things even more confusing, they sometimes even copy the names of legitimate companies that exist in the same area.
Isn't it fitting that this is where we'll find accurate locksmith?
There is an accurate locksmith about an hour from here, but this address is literally for the birds.
Hey, I'm locked out of my house. Can you guys help me?
Turns out that when you call what you think is a local number, oftentimes you are reaching a call center, hundreds or even thousands of miles away. The person on the phone has a network of subcontractors and even sub-subcontractors, like the guys who came out to our hidden camera houses. Remember Mr. Power Drill? He was dispatched by a company called Run Local, which is run out of a strip mall in Michigan, a good 500 miles away from local. After their dispatcher quoted a starting price of $50.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He drilled out both the knob and the unlocked deadbolt and charged 7 times more.
Okay.
You would have saved her some money. If you'd have started with this, you would have realized that you don't need to drill the dead
First of all, just
bar.
a simple walker. If you have any question, anything, you need to go to the company and talk to them. I'm just a simple walker. I can't help you guys. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. So let's see if we can find the big boss. Because Run Local, the company that sent him, answers over 100,000 calls a year, so someone is getting rich. And his name is Meni Agababayev. First, we found him on Twitter, where every one of his tweets sings the praises of Meni Agababayev as a renowned business tycoon, respected all over the world. And then we found this.
What did you say? I'm sorry, Senor Alvarez, but he doesn't listen to me. He does whatever the he wants.
The screaming guy? That's him. Turns out that Meni Agababayev, the owner of Run Local, is also Meni Aga, budding action star.
We had a deal. I'm altering the deal.
And he just spent some of his fortune and used some of his gorgeous cars to make a movie called Mobster, casting himself as a psychopathic criminal mastermind. Now, we could track him down in a parking lot like this reporter in Detroit.
You a master locksmith or you movie star?
But I wonder what he'd do if we invited him to sit down and talk about his movie and his life. What do you know? He agrees.
So you could have picked any role in Mobster, but you chose the villain. Why'd you pick that one?
I like that one. I can make it happen the best. Because in Russia and in Israel, if you're not a biter, you will get a bite. But I did not choose to be a mobster in my real life.
You could have chosen that path.
If I had to do it, I could deal with that.
You could have done it.
Yes.
Now, Manny doesn't know that I know all about his locksmith business.
What if you had like a damsel in distress character, right? She's been locked out of her house.
But watch his face as I suggest a new plot line for Mobster involving a stranger with a power drill.
But then a guy comes in, and instead of helping her, he destroys her door, drills out both of her locks, and charges her $365 instead. I can see it fitting right in the plot line. What do you think?
I don't think so. The locksmith business has anything to do with the movie. So it will make me more comfortable to continue with you if we separate things.
But it paid for the movie, didn't it?
It paid for the movie, yes it does.
Yeah.
With over 200 complaints, Manny's company gets an F from the Better Business Bureau.
Of hundreds of your customers, the Better Business Bureau, one of your former employees, say you were running a bait and switch on a grand scale across the country.
Okay.
What do you say to that?
I'm making it happen.
You're making what happen?
The businesses.
Taking advantage of
Absolutely not.
people who've been locked out of their houses and cars?
Absolutely not. I service 1 million customers almost in 6 years. Show me a company in America service almost 1 million customers with 199 complaints.
What kind of oversight do you have for the technicians you send out?
We're
Do you
not
do
talking,
background checks on them?
we're talking movie only.
Do your men ever charge the price that's quoted on the phone? Ever?
We're talking mobster movie.
Manny referred us to his advisor, who said it is run local policy never to quote prices over the phone, although every time we called, they did. He also says that technicians like Mr. Power Drill are not their employees, and once they determine the price, the customer can always refuse.
What if you gave free tickets to Mobster to every Run Local customer, so they get a better sense of, you know, the guy running the company?
It's a good idea. Am I going to do that?
So what happens in the end to the Mobster? Does he get justice?
You got to wait and watch the movie all the way to the end.
So, as Manny goes back to setting people on fire in Hollywood, a few tips to avoid getting burned before your next lockout. First, get a solid price quote over the phone beforehand. Be cautious if you're told up front that the lock has to be drilled and replaced. An experienced locksmith can pick almost any lock. And if you see a locksmith shop in your neighborhood, drop in, say hello, get their number, so you know exactly who to expect on nights like this.
I accidentally just locked myself out of my house.
Stay on the